All right, we're back. We went potty. And so what I did with her is we went outside. I just stood out, walked out into the yard, waited. Took about 2 minutes. Then she went potty. Gave her a treat as soon as she squatted. Sorry, my Xfinity thing keeps popping up. I'm just going to turn off my internet so it stops doing that. And then as soon as she was done pottying, we actually threw a little puppy party, which is why I'm panting. So we ran around the yard, we wrestled a little bit, we just had like a blast for like a minute, and then we came back inside because we're here to train, not to throw puppy parties. But that'll help her learn that until she pees, nothing fun happens. I just walked outside, stood there with my arms crossed, waited, and right when I was about to be like, well, maybe she's not going to pee, maybe we just go back inside, she squatted. So that's something you guys can try. If she hadn't peed, I would have just taken her out again pretty soon because I am kind of stuffing her full of hot dogs right now. And that's probably putting pressure on her little bladder. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to a little bit of that intro to It's Your Choice game after I get my mat back from her. And that's the next thing we're going to do. So she stole my mat. You can't see her. Oh, she gave up on it anyway, so we don't have to do it. But what I was going to do is just a little exchange game. So this is going to come into play in a couple minutes here. Rossi! Come here! Oh, hi! Come here! All right, here's your clicker. So, again, we're just going back to that little It's Your Choice game. It's the one where we've got the fistful of treats in the hand. This one doesn't involve the clicker. Well, it doesn't have to. So, again, I want her to not dive back in and mug my hand in order to get those treats. Good. And again, she doesn't get to take all of the treats from my hand. I'm just putting them on the ground. Making this harder. Good. So you can really see the difference, huh? She's already getting a lot better at this. Good girl. Girl. So she's already really learning that even though she really wants this is like, it's good stuff. This is a mix of string cheese and hot dogs. The way to get what she wants is to just sit and be patient. And this is going to be just an awesome skill for her to have. It's also kind of helping her turn on that thinking part of her brain and learn how to think through excitement, which is a super huge key to being successful as an outdoor hiking dog. So what we're going to do, because she's doing really well, is I'm actually going to rotate this down a little bit, and I'm going to put these treats on the ground. And we're going to build up to her practicing taking the treats, not just from my hand, but off of the ground. All right. So you're not going to be able to see my face, sorry. So we've got treats, they're on the ground, and I'm just going to cover them with my hand. So I want you guys to start out with them in your fist off of the ground. But we're going to try on the ground. And you can see how she's kind of totally reverting back. It doesn't translate, and that's why it's important to try this in every different room of your house. Try it in your front yard. Try it with different people, because dogs are not good at generalizing things. And this holds for everything we do. Dogs are not good at learning that, like, oh, I do this when you say this. Here, I do it everywhere. That doesn't really come naturally to them. Good. So we have to help them learn that when there's treats on the ground, you wait for me no matter what. When I say sit, you sit everywhere. It's not just when we're in training. It's not just when I have treats in my hand. It's not just when it's dad standing in the kitchen. It's when a stranger says it at a brewery. God. So we're just going to do this till these treats are gone, and then we're going to go to that mat training, which is my favorite skill for teaching a dog how to settle down. God. And we'll get you started on that, and then you guys can do it as homework to kind of finish up. God. And then we'll go back to some target training, and then we'll probably take another break. And then we'll do one more training session, and then because I have to take her in and out and everything, that'll probably take us to an hour. girl. So, last one. So it's really important here to make sure that you beat her to it. If she gets it, even once, then she's just learned that if she's fast enough, she gets rewarded. And we don't want to teach her to be faster. We want to teach her to be more patient. So if you don't think you can beat her to it, don't pull your hand that far away. Good girl. Cool. So now we've got this mat. This is just an old towel that I use for my own dog for his mat training. I'm going to rotate you back up just so I'm not like a headless thing. So this towel, I'm going to fold it up a little bit for Rossi because she is so little. You guys can use anything. The rule of the mat training game is that when the mat is on the ground, the dog is lying on the mat. No matter what happens around you. That is the name of the game here. That's what I'm going to start teaching her. You guys are going to continue doing. So I don't want this to be her bed, her crate. I want this to be something special. You can start out, because she is so little, I would do it with something like a handkerchief. Because then you also, as she gets really good at it, and even as she gets bigger, you can just keep using that same handkerchief. And then you can bring it with you to breweries. You can just stuff in your pocket. You can pull it out. And remember, the rule of the game is whenever the mat is on the ground, she's lying on the mat. So I'm going to start teaching her that, so I'm going to get the hard work done. I'm actually going to rotate this camera back down again. So sorry you're looking at my decapitated body so much. Rosie, come here. So this is where that clicker's going to come in really handy. I'm going to make a big deal about this mat. It's super exciting. Oh boy. I'm going to put it on the ground right where you guys can see it. Any interest she shows in the mat, I click and treat. And because we've already kind of started teaching her an auto sit, she might offer a sit on the mat, and she does. So we're going to actually jackpot that, which means I'm going to give her 3 treats instead of just 1. Get some more treats. She's doing such a good job of hanging out. And now here, because I don't think she's necessarily going to offer a lie down, I'm going to actually lure her into a down using a treat. She laid down. And now we're just going to start. So as long as she is on the mat, I'm going to give her treats on the mat. If she pops up, the mat comes up. She's already learned so much patience, she might just stay on that mat. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start playing around with this. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. She's already doing a great job as I'm talking, so she's already getting through some basic distraction. And then what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start waving my arms around. She's still on the mat even with that distraction. That's awesome. So I'm going to keep getting her treats. I'm being exciting. She is still on the mat though. This is awesome. I'm going to kneel up. She's still on the mat. She's still getting a treat. I'm going to come back down. So we don't always want to make this progressively harder. We don't always just want to challenge the heck out of our dog. We want to give her some easy wins. So I've stood up. That's a pretty big move. I actually have not been able to stand up this quickly before when teaching a dog mat training, ever. Which might be because she's tired, or might be because your dog is exceptional. So I'm going to start playing around with some movement. And again, as long as she is still on the mat, she's getting paid. So again, you can use this once she gets good at it. This is how I bring my dog to the vet. It's how I bring him to breweries. Spin in a circle. And she's getting a longer time in between each of these clicks and these treats, but she is still staying on the mat. So now what we're going to do, we're just going to keep going. We're not going to push her until she fails necessarily. But as long as she's on the mat, she's getting treats. So again, I just bring this mat with me to breweries when I bring my dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to try a little jump. She's still on the mat. She's doing so awesome with this, you guys. The problem is she actually hasn't gotten off the mat yet, so we don't know if she knows this or if she's just tired and lying down. So this next, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm a little at a loss, actually, because I've never had a dog pop off the mat on their own. So what we'll do is we're going to target her off of the mat using this touch. Because we do want her to learn that there is a time to get off the mat. Touch. Good girl. I actually have done this wrong. The first time I trained a dog to mat train, I forgot to teach them that there is a time to get off of the mat, and you had to physically drag the mat out from under the dog. It wasn't very fun. So, this is just the treat zone for her. I'm going to put it back on the ground. We're going to practice a little bit more to make sure that she kind of gets it for you guys. Then I'm going to send you a 15-day protocol that was developed by a veterinary behaviorist that basically is just a bunch of different 5-minute sessions that get progressively harder without over-challenging your dog. She almost just stole all my hot dogs. All right. So I'm going to put this back down. We're going to see if she's able to get back on it on her own, figure it out on her own. If not, I'll help her. You ready? Look at that. Oh, what a smart puppy. So she went right over to it, and she sat on it. She isn't lying down yet, but that's okay. I'm going to just wait and see if she tries to lie down. And she didn't, so what that means is I'm going to pick up the mat. This is what I was hoping for, so I could show you. We're just going to take a little break. We're just going to wait. I'm not going to tell her no. She's not in trouble. I'm just ignoring her. All right, and you ready? We're going to put it back down. And as soon as she is on it, we're giving her treats. If she sits, and I'm not telling her sit because I kind of want her to figure it out. I want her to think through it on her own. And I am putting the food on the mat as a way to try to help her make the connection between the food and the mat. So you can play around a little bit with treat placement. I know you guys can't see it really well, in order to help your dog get what you want. So that means this one there we go, got her to lie down. She's already on her hip, but one of the things you can do is you can play, if your dog is lying down and they're lying down like a sphinx, straight down, you can give the treat like this and kind of curve them into a C. That helps them roll over onto one hip. That is a nice relaxed position, and that'll help your dog settle in a little bit more. All right, so we're going to go back to making this a little harder. Click and treat. And we don't want to push her until she fails. So as soon as I'm seeing that she's starting to struggle a little bit, I'm going to stop. And again, we don't want everything to just get progressively more difficult. And I'm just playing around because, again, all we're doing right now is teaching her that the rule of the game is that when the mat is on the ground, Rossi is on the mat. So she's sat up here, but she hasn't gotten off, so I'm not yanking it out from under her. We're going to see if she lies back down. If she lies back down, then we'll give treats. If she gets off, we're going to take the mat away. And she sat. That's closer, so we're going to reward that. Oh, and she's off. So there we go. And this is fun. She's kind of like, what the heck? This mat thing is really sweet. I kind of like it because, again, it's a treat zone. This mat here is the only thing I've seen my dog growl at another dog over as far as resources go, because this is more than just food to him. This is like the food creating machine. So it's the only thing I've actually seen my dog growl at other dogs for. You ready, Matt? All right, Matt's back on the ground. Poppy is back on the mat because she's a champ. We're going to try to get her to sit. There we go. Or to lie down. I know what I'm talking about. So mat training is weirdly hard for a lot of dogs, but it's a great way to kind of teach your dog to relax, teach your dog to chill out. Most people I know who get their dogs really good at it just totally swear by it. And this is, again, actually, I think Porter's family told you the story of me doing this with Barley outside. So this is that super impressive bit of training that you guys can totally see the starts to right now with Rossi. And I'm not doing that official protocol. Whoops. Good girl. So she kind of got up. She chose to go back down, so we're going to give her a treat. And she's still on the mat. And that's fine. If I had one pocket full of kibble and one pocket full of hot dogs, right now I would be paying her with kibble. Because I want her to learn that hot dogs are when you do it really right. But you're still on the mat, so it's still right enough, so I'm going to give you some kibble. But I only have hot dogs with me right now, so she's getting hot dogs even though she's a little less right, which is fine. She's 12 weeks old. And I'm going to see if I can get her to lie down. There we go. And again, I'm going to jackpot that to get her to lie down. And a lot of times, this standing up bit that I keep doing is the hardest part for dogs. Any position change from humans is really hard. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to sit on your couch. That's also another thing that tends to be really hard for dogs. I'm going to walk a couple steps this way, click and treat. And again, remember, all this clicker means is that she's done something right, and a treat is coming her way. She's doing so good, guys. Oops. We got back up. We'll lure her back into a down. And then again, do that C shape to get her to get into that nice, relaxed down. All right, and again with the touch to get her off. Good girl. There we go. So we're gonna be done with mat training now for a little bit. And I'm gonna go off screen for a second so that I can put this inside of my bag, because now that this has gained a value, she's gonna really want it. All right. So we're gonna go back to a little bit of target training. Has she, well, I guess you guys, I'm not Skyping you, so you can't answer me. The other thing we were going to work on today was mouthiness. I'm not seeing any issues with mouthiness right now, but this it's your choice type thing is going to help a little bit with mouthiness. All of this impulse control stuff is a start to mouthiness. So let's do a little bit of target training. Then I brought some nail trimmers so we can practice some nail trims and make her really good at those nail trims. Just because that's a great skill for all dogs to have. Sorry, I'll rotate you down so you can see your dog better. Your dog's the important one here, not me. So you can see she's still a little hesitant, but she's kind of getting the gist of it. Oops. And now she's just going to prove me wrong, huh? Check out that clicker. Treat pouch, we'll close that. Good job. Oops, I forgot that we had introduced the word touch, so here, we'll go back to that. Ready? Touch. Good girl. Touch. Good girl. And you guys can play a game together called Ping Pong Puppy. Touch. Where each of you guys are going to have the same treats, and you're going to have her go back and forth between you guys taking steps. I obviously can't do that because I'm just me. Fuzzy, touch. Good girl. Good girl. And you can already see she's really doing a great job of offering this auto sit. She's like, look, I'm sitting. What do you got for me? I'm being so good. Touch. 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 Good girl. touch, 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 touch. She's doing really, really well, guys. All right, so we're going to go outside. We're going to take another potty break. And I'll be off screen, but I'm going to just do a little bit of this touch training, and it's your choice outside. So you guys aren't going to see that because it looks exactly like what we've already done. But I'm just going to do that for a couple minutes outside just to help start practicing outside for her in a different area. And she's gone off to drink some water, so we're going to make sure we get outside.